Discipline. Selfish.
No joke. We're legitimate.
Fucking do this, then do it. Do it 100%, because I'm trying to.
We recognize that we are limitless.
You gotta be a champion to become a champion, right? Winning is a habit because we create habits that lead to good execution and success.
It's episode 43 of the Coaches Show, the NXL Windy City edition. I'm Mike Bianca, coach of the New Orleans Hurricanes. With me is my friend and co-host Ryan Gray, coach of AC Diesel. Tonight's guests are coaches Shane Pestana of the Los Angeles Ironmen and coach Kevin S.K. Bredthauer of San Diego Dynasty. We're going to discuss the mid-season look at the Pro Division, the brackets for Chicago, and make our picks. I love that part. But first, we're going to give you some data about the status of the NXL since World Cup 2023. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Max Sportswear. For all your custom paintball goods, get maxed. New Coaches Show apparel coming soon. And BKI, the best knowledge in paintball. New content is being added regularly, and you don't want to miss the additions Ryan and I are making to the coaches section. So don't forget, coming up in Chicago, Hertz VIP parking. Let's make it happen. Right, Ryan? Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah.
That's where I got my car.
Yeah, I do too. I use Hertz as well. Let's talk about a little bit of data since World Cup 2023, which was the largest event in history, correct?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. Largest event in history. So I was talking to Kevin Fillers today, who's the CFO of Major League Paintball. We were just kind of talking about all the evolutions kind of that have occurred in a pretty short period of time. When you consider World Cup 2023 was not even a year ago. And here we are kind of launching into the fourth event, which, I kind of made a comment this morning, like, hey, the fourth event is, statistically usually the smallest event of the year. Mm-hmm. And he responded and said, well, we're about to have the largest fourth event in history. Oh, wow. And so I responded back and was like, hasn't every event we've had since World Cup, including World Cup, been the largest events we've ever had in whether it's event one, that's the largest event one, event two, largest event two. So he sent me kind of this screenshot that I don't want to share because it's his data and his information. So I don't want to share that. But since World Cup 2023, which again was the largest paintball event in history, the league has signed Hertz and South Electronics as outside sponsors. We've had the largest event one ever and the largest event, not a World Cup ever, in Las Vegas. The largest event two ever, and then signed the ESPN deal at event two in Texas. Largest event three in between, and then right after event three, paintball was on ESPN again. We had the largest European event in history, more teams than ever in history in Dreux, France, just a couple of weeks ago. And we are about to have the largest fourth event in the history of the NXL, MPP, or NXL and PSP. So it's interesting, like when we think about a down economy, right? So we've got, things we're certainly in a mild recession with things being expensive as they are. My wages haven't gone up. I don't know about you guys, but I certainly feel the pinch of that. But paintball, especially at the NXL, has continued to grow, right? It's continued to grow. So whatever they're doing, it's working, right? So what a year so far that we've had, right? And one of the exciting things is it's not over, right? We have the event 4, Chicago, which we're going to talk about tonight, and then World Cup, right? And we asked this question, right, of Tom. We had him on a few months ago, like, where are you going to park all these people? Where are these people going to park?
Where are they going to go?
Yeah, World Cup could be insane this year.
It's incredible when you think about it, right? I mean, with the economy the way it is, and with paintball being such a disposable income type sport, it boggles the mind. But I'm not complaining. You won't hear me complain about it. That's for sure.
Yeah, Ben, you're right. So not just the 10-man, but you're talking about 10-man, 3-man. There's just a whole ton of stuff, right? Yeah. Also, it looks like I came back with some scalp. Yeah, I did. I've got 2 scalp jerseys, and Mike got one as well. So yeah, I came back with some scalp things. Vincent was really good to us in Europe. So really, really good to us. So yeah, man, certainly the additional types and ways to play at the events have increased team count, but head count is also up at the events. So in Europe, I think the head count was down 100, but team count was up. I don't remember the exact count. So if the head count was down 100, we can attribute that to the 2 countries who unfortunately weren't allowed to participate in the event. Right. However, team count was up, and for sure 10-man had something to do with that. But if you look at the options and opportunities for people to play, that's all that really matters, right? So if we understand that there's some crossover between some guys playing X-ball and playing 10-man, but there were quite a few people there just playing 10-man. I mean, there were several guys who were on the veterans line who literally just played 10-man. So there is some crossover, but there were some unique players there as well. So really exciting. The league's doing some really good things. Yaya's in the chat right now, is actually just about to talk about this. One of the things we've heard from, Mike Hinman is that some of the regional leagues are seeing a little bit of shrinkage. I think the reason that's occurring is now where you have some kind of nasty, gnarly paint competition from a price perspective going on in the league. I think that's helping to drive teams who maybe would just play a local event because of a little bit lower cost of entry, but then a little bit higher paint cost, to maybe do a little math and figure out that maybe it's beneficial to go play the NXL with a little bit higher entry and significantly lower paint costs. So
that's right.
It's interesting. I'm really excited to see what happens over the next 2 events. Chicago is going to be massive. Hopefully this weather that's coming up doesn't hit us until late. I swear, man, every time there's a paintball event, it's like we're trying to dodge something, or unfortunately don't get to dodge it, and we just get nasty weather.
And it happens usually around Chicago. Of course, my guys are dealing with that right now. Some of them had to change flights earlier, and some of them had to change flights to much later. So hopefully the Hurricanes will have a team out there. But Chad, you go ahead and focus on driving, man. Drive safe. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for everyone in the chats. Keep it up, man. This is looks like this is going to be a hot one tonight. The chat is alive. So let's get to the point of the show tonight. Do we want to jump right into Chicago and start talking?
For sure. Let's bring the boys in, talk a little bit about their practices, kind of what they think about the layout. This is the first one of these shows that we've been able to do a pick'em, and we know what the layout's going to do, right? So we have data about what the layout's going to do, which I think is going to be really interesting to talk through, because I know in the bracket that I'm doing, there's two teams I think are going to do really, really well on this layout because of the way you can counterpunch. So yeah, let's get the boys in and get their thoughts.
Welcome, my jungle friends.
Gentlemen. My jungle.
How are things? How are things out in California?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Perfect. Yes,
sir. California is nice and sunny, and I was in Chicago last weekend, and it was rainy and cold. So lovely, right? It wasn't too cold, but it was definitely cold. So we'll hopefully we can dodge a bullet this weekend and not get absolutely dumped on. So but all good out here. How about you, SK?
I was in San Antonio, and it was nicer there than in San Diego, I guess. It was hotter in San Diego. Apparently. I don't know. That's what my sister said. So yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
let's go.
I was in Houston, and it was beautiful. Like, we had a little bit of rain on Friday, but otherwise it's like, I don't know that I've ever been to Houston and had such great weather. Like, we were just totally blessed. Like 70 degrees in the morning, maybe even like 68, which I didn't even think the dew point got below 90 degrees in Houston. 90%. So we don't ever get below 90. But like, man, we woke up in the morning and I had a little hoodie on. It was pretty decent. It was really, really nice. Had a great workout with Houston Heat. Really excited to see how they'll perform here, because at practice they were fun. They were kind of up tempo, low tempo. They went back and forth. Were ballistic when they needed to be. It was we had a really good workout with them. So Shane, who did you guys end up? Or sorry, I guess Mike. We can talk about. We all know where you were because you guys don't go anywhere.
Well, some of us can't pull away from the blue collar jobs. But yes, we were in Slidell, Louisiana at LA Extreme Paintball, hosted by Drew Bankston, just an incredible host. He takes really good care of us. We did not have sun. We had a lot of, but we were blessed actually. The rain held up. We were overcast. We got a little sprinkles, but for the first 2 days it was overcast, very humid. But then Sunday the sun came out and it was pretty nice. And we had a really good practice with the ML Kings. We grinded a lot of points Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and we're feeling pretty good. So we feel prepared for Chicago in the fact that we got rained on and we're playing in the puddles. So,
Shane, where were you guys? You were in Chicago, and who were you with?
We were at Blast Camp, and what a great facility, great practice. We played Blast Camp and Infamous. The Russians were there, but they wouldn't play us because they're in our bracket. But we got to see the champs, how they perform on this layout and see what they're all about. But it was a great weekend. Honestly, it was no drama, just grinded and worked together. And everybody was, just there to try to get better and help each other. And I think everyone came out of the weekend better. More prepared and actually better as teams all the way around, but Blast Camp was a great host, and I definitely go back there again if they would have us.
Goodness gracious, stuff. Blast Camp, Russian Legion, and Infamous. You must have gotten, I don't think there's a look you haven't seen now.
It was, yeah, but you know what? Like you guys just kind of already hit on a little bit. You can definitely shift gears on this layout. So it was, yeah, it was, but yeah, we definitely got some different looks. But you know how it is. We'll go on Thursday and we'll go watch other teams and we're like, oh, okay, there's something different, So it's but it was good. It was a really good practice, and I'm really happy with how hard the guys worked, So they definitely put in the time. So here we
SK,
go.
And we're ready to go. SK, you were in San Antonio with I believe X Factor and Revo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it was super good. We played Fridays. Well, some of the guys did drills on Thursday, but we played Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it was pretty nice, and the weather was nice. My shoes did not melt like the last time I was in San Antonio. When it gets to 110, your shoes melt. I was unaware of this. It was a really good practice. I'd never played Rebel before. Not that I can remember. So I enjoyed playing someone different. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And they're another team, I think, that can play both tempos, can play up tempo and then bring it back down and play a slow game. With Heat, it was really interesting. The first day, we were really pushing the tempo. So our average points were 128, right? And then on a minute, 28 seconds. And then on Saturday, we kind of played around with the tempo. And both teams went home, made changes on Friday night, came out Saturday, started out pretty high tempo, but then we played some points that were 6 minutes long.
Really?
Yes. That's okay. So I'm glad we brought this topic up. First of all, my average was a minute 32. So that makes sense with the 128. However, by late Saturday and early Sunday, you would have some points. We had a 3.5 minute point, we had a 4:48 point, and we had a 5:20 point. And gentlemen, I think what this is, and you guys can correct me. You guys are the professionals.
Oh God! Oh God! I'm gonna punch him.
Thank you.
What I'm getting at is that if you have those 5-on-5 breaks, right, and you know where the bodies are, that thing can slow down. If you end up in that 3-on-3 in the mid scramble and you don't know where bodies are, things are going to slow down. So I feel like there's opportunities for this field to play both tempos. I think you're going to see some super fast points. We had a 16-second point, and then our longest was a 5:20. So
yeah,
we had a lot of 16-second points. It was wide open.
You were shooting people on the break, is what you were doing then.
No, but I think they were shooting us on the break, and it was against us.
Oh. Got it.
Yeah. No, you can definitely see. We will see points where it's 2-on-2 after the breakout. I firmly believe that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's absolute chaos. And like you said, when it gets to the 33 or 3-on-3 and where the bodies are at is going to be crucial. You know what I mean? Because it's definitely going to be bloody out there. You know, so
but I think there's points
we played. Yeah, there was 5-on-5. We played a lot of 5-on-5. So either way, So
this is one of those fields where you got to pick your poison, right? Where do I want to put assets? From a tempo perspective, Ryan and I talk about this a lot, and I'm sure you and SK understand this, and the fact that, depending on where I'm putting those guns on the break, where I'm wanting to push, how I'm wanting to push, am I doing a read offense? What are these different things? There's so many different ways to play this field. That was the key component for us, was being able to, okay, hey, we can play it this way. We can also play it this way. Hey, look, here's this read offense that we can make on this adjustment. So I think the stack is going to be a key component to this field. 100%.
Huge. Yeah. Huge.
Yeah. The audibles at the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah. All the layouts this year have been kind of that way because you could see each other from the edges. Mm-hmm. I feel like they've all been this real read, kind of where we're going to, how are we going to shoot the outside guy or inside guy based on the read? Right. Based on the stack on the box. Right. It's pretty interesting how important that box setup has become and how well you can sell the two runners where one kind of slides back in, or you sell the one already in who's really breaking out. It's been kind of I think there's some teams that do it really well, and there's teams I don't even know that think about it. I think they just kind of stand there. We've, seen a little bit of that in film. But I think the teams that do that really well, and again, I was talking about my bracket, which we'll jump into in just a second. We'll get into the brackets, but I think there's one of the teams in my bracket's I think will do incredibly well on this layout, because I do think that the counters are going to be critical, right? If you're not first and you allow another team to come in, being able to counter really well without having to sit on the cross and slow everything down is going to be really kind of a key component. And then how well teams figure out how to use the middle of the field, right? Shane, you got to watch the Russians play. How often was Kirill in the middle of the field?
Every point,
right?
Every single point he was up there. And it's interesting. We picked up a new kid from semi-pro for the event, and he's playing some of the same spots. Guy's been in the league forever. He's been a pro forever. Watch how he does it. And you know what? He shoots a lot of people, man. He understands the chaos that's going on around him, and and they're playing really well, boys. And Michael and I, we have to play in this event in the prelims, but they're you can see why they won 2 tournaments in a row. That first line's legit. It's it's impressive to watch. There's no weakness there, that's for sure. But yeah, every single point he's up there somewhere, so here he comes. Now watch, he won't go that way. Yeah.
SK, what were your thoughts?
I thought they were all really fast points. Like I think you're about right, about 120 or so for 90% of the points, in my opinion. And I think it will continue to be that way. Like, I don't think it's going to slow down. I think Trozen did a good job again to make it non-boring fields. So I think there's going to be people running. That's entertaining.
So you guys don't think that, Friday morning we're going to see a lot of high scoring, fast paced play, and then maybe Friday afternoon we don't see as much high scoring, fast paced play?
Well, let's see what time Damage and the Hurricanes play, and then I'll answer those.
The Hurricanes play Ironmen first. One team's going to run, one team's going to slow it up.
You can slow this field down. You can
See,
slow this
that's
down.
what I'm saying. If they have figured out how to do it, it will, right? Like they will drag
for
us
sure.
into these, 3-2 games, that are just super boring, right?
It's risk
gonna happen,
management.
SK,
Risk
I hope you're
management.
right. Yeah, I hope SK's right and it gets to stay high tempo and be really ballistic. I think that'll be a lot more fun. But I got a bad feeling that especially if we get rain and it gets muddy and a little bit sticky, which the Chicago ground last year didn't really get sticky. It gets more sloppy, right? It gets kind of slippery and not like in Texas when it rains and you hit the ground and you stop. It gets a little sloppy. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. I think a lot of it's going to depend on how quickly you can get out of the box, especially if it gets a little trenched out, those kind of things. So it'll be interesting. Well, let's jump into the brackets. SK, you have bracket A, so let's start with you.
So this is Red Legion, Revo, NYX, Hurricanes, and Ironmen. Looking at the schedules and stuff too, I don't know. Like, I feel like Ironmen have been up and down this year. Hurricanes have also been up and down, and NYX has been pretty bad. So, and then obviously Red Legion has been the most consistent team of any team, and at this point the best. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they win all four prelim brackets, all their prelim games, just because I just think confidence goes a long way. And it's if it was a slower field, I would think maybe they would have a harder time, but I don't think this is at all. So I think they're going to be in good shape. I did seeing Revo practice this weekend. I thought they played really well, and they got better over I don't know exactly, but I think on Saturday they got beat up a little bit, and then by Sunday they were both they beat us one match, and then it was like short matches, but they beat us once, and I'm positive they beat X Factor at least once too. So I do think they're in really good shape. Yeah, I mean, if it's as fast as we can, I know Shane's going to go at people. So I think they're going to do either they're going to lose badly or they're going to win. So I don't think there's going to be any in between. So and then if it slows down, I think that's in Mike's favor. So I don't really know.
Okay.
NYX, I just don't even know. I know they lost another guy, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, Will Hennessy has left the team.
Okay, so I don't know even how many guys they have at this point. Maybe Dan can tell us. I saw Dan in here.
He's in the chat.
Yeah, he said we did play Revel before, but I don't. Yeah, that was like a year ago, and that team's different. So how many guys do you have, Dan? Yeah, so I know, and that'll be hard, especially if it's terrible weather. I think if you don't have enough guys, I think when the weather is bad, it is a major disadvantage.
Yeah.
So
makes it tough.
I would like to hype that guy up. I thought Ethan from Revo played amazing in the Snake, and I didn't really even know him. He came up to me this weekend. He's like, "My name's Ethan." And I was like, "I have no idea who you are." So
you didn't know Ethan Adams?
No.
Oh yeah, he's good.
No, he played great this week, and I was just impressed with him. So
he's a good player.
Yeah. That's about all I have. I don't know if you guys had anything else to add.
Are we going to do picks at the end?
Yeah, we'll do picks at the very end. But yeah, I think your assessment's good. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Anybody else have opinions?
I think it's a very tough.
Yeah. I think it's a tough bracket too.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Way this layout plays, we'll know a lot more after Sunday or Saturday or Friday morning. I'm sorry.
Right.
And see how our bracket shakes out, in the afternoon, after watching some games and seeing where people are making and not making and where the Ironmen are going to run. You know, I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
but I think it's a tough. I mean, we've kind of touched on it all year that there's no easy bracket anymore. There's no walk, you know, that and this bracket's bracket's legit, man. You know, and I mean, so we'll see. It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Bracket B, Mike.
So okay. Let's see. So I get a fun one, actually. I think I probably got the easiest bracket to talk about. Houston Heat, currently ranked second in the league. This has been the most consistent team from a literal perspective in the league. 3 fifth places in a row. Speaking of a row, this team is a murderer's row of talent, and based off this layout, I feel they're well suited to do pretty well on this layout. You know, with the dual attack of Chad George and Connor Kelly, backed up with the likes of Tyler Harmon, Konstantin Fedorov, Mishka, Moorhead, Monville, Dizon, Chad, Ryan Smith. This is a team I think you just have to expect to see on Sunday. So I just think this field is almost tailor-made for them in a way when you think about it, especially when you look at the rest of the teams in the bracket that they'll be playing. So I expect Houston Heat to do well at this event. Tampa Bay Damage, surprisingly ranked 8th in the Pro Division behind the Hurricanes. But I have no doubt that these guys are on a mission, much like my team, right? A stumble at the first event, followed by 2 Sunday appearances where they lost one in the quarters by 1 and then lost to the event winner in the next. I think these boys are going to be fired up and ready to play. Joey obviously is going to have them quite in line. I have no doubt. I believe Brooklyn Bears. Now, the Brooklyn Bears, we've talked about them a lot. They've surprised everyone, and I feel, including myself and Ryan, a lot. They've made 2 Sunday appearances this season. Now, granted, they were wild cards, but appearances just the same, with a 10th, an 11th, and a 9th, beating my Hurricanes in a nail biter in Atlantic City. Now, with Mike Hinman at the helm, this very well could be a 3rd Sunday appearance for this squad. I very well could be, maybe from a wild card perspective, but just the same, a 3rd Sunday appearance could be in the works. Blast Camp, look, Blast Camp's shown a lot of grit this season. Like the Canes, they made a Sunday appearance at only their 2nd pro event ever. This is a smart, intelligent team who understands the game. And, you know, they've shocked a lot of naysayers, right? I like these guys. I know they'll be prepared. The question will be if they'll have the constitution to go toe-to-toe with the people they're going to be playing on this layout. So finally, I think Seattle Uprising is in this bracket. I've always been a fan of this team ever since they beat my team in the semi-pro division finals at Dallas PSP in 2015. These guys can throw down, but they, you know, from a boxing analogy, right? But they have a tendency to drop their hands late in the fight and take one on the chin. So they know how to play. And with the recent pickup of Nate Schroeder, they could be surprising and maybe steal some matches. So this makes an interesting bracket. Definitely. So that's what I got right now, and I'll save my picks till the end.
I think it's interesting, too, that 3 of those teams all picked up players. So the Brooklyn Bears pick up Hugo from the Tauntauns in Europe. Blast Camp brings Voss back.
Right.
So, I mean, I say pick up players. He wasn't on the team through the first 3 events in the year, comes back to the group fresh for this event. And then, as you mentioned, Seattle Uprising bringing in Nate Schroeder. I think
they picked up another guy too.
I thought so, right? Today.
Yeah, he played. No, he played because we had a practice up in Sacramento, but right before France, and he played then. So yeah, so I think he made the team there. Basically, they just didn't announce it.
I remember him from a few years ago.
Okay. He played well at practice.
Excellent.
I'm just going to look it up really quick. I want to give the man his due, you know.
Absolutely. See if I can find it real quick.
Yeah. Xavier Lin.
You Wow, that was fast. Okay, beat me.
I'm fast, dude. I don't play around. Yeah, Xavier Lynn. So
Don't mess around.
Seattle Uprising bringing in 2 guys, which I thought they already had a relatively deep roster. But I think it's interesting too to watch them making moves. Maybe they're realizing, we need some fresh blood in here to maybe change the culture a little bit. As Mike mentioned, and I totally agree, they're kind of the team that I hate to love. Like I'm always kind of rooting for them, and then they get to the end of the game and they're up 2 points, and it's like, yeah, they're going to get this one, right? And they're 1-1 going into that game, and that could put them in position to go into their last game, and they get a major penalty. Then they got to start the next one down 3, with 3 guys or something, and it's like, oh my gosh, like these guys are always so close and just seem to have chaos at the wrong time. So, SK, you have any thoughts on bracket B?
Yeah, Tyler took over coaching them, and he asked me a million questions. Like he called me last night.
Good.
So he always does. So I think he's going to get better as a coach as he goes. And he knew that depth was a problem. And I know Nate knew them forever. Like he's from that area anyways. So that's not like a surprise. And then he added a little more depth so he can pick who's playing best rather than just playing. I don't think they had a deep roster, Ryan. I could be wrong, but
I think they have.
I thought they
might
9.
have 10 to 11 on this one now.
Oh, really? Okay.
They might.
Yeah, I thought they had 9.
Okay.
Well, your super fast search. See if you can beat me to it again.
Shane, you have thoughts on bracket B?
Well, I mean, you touched on it. I think this layout's perfect for Heat, and Heat's been playing really well this year. So, and I actually talked to Moorhead watching the finals in Atlantic City, and he's just like, man, we're always right there, but we just can't finish the deal. And, it wouldn't surprise anybody in the industry if they went out and won this event. So they're definitely going to be legit. And we played Blast Camp this past weekend, and that is not going to be an easy out for anybody. They played really well, and after talking to the guys, because we played on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, man, they were giving us and beating us and beating the Russians, giving us all we could handle. So that is definitely not going to be an easy out for anybody, and they're legit, and it's another tough bracket. Like you said, with Uprising, this layout's actually could be really good for them. They could go on runs on teams, and the chaos. Who can handle the chaos out there? So you
can steal points on this field. You can certainly steal points on this.
That is for sure.
Like
and you can, they love it. They thrive on it. So
By the way, they're bringing 12.
12.
Uprising has 12.
See, they had 10.
Yeah.
I thought so.
And that's all 4 of us went, oof, that's a lot. That's a lot to handle, so I had a big roster last year, and that was not fun. You just can't play everybody. It makes it hard, but they can, they're making changes and they're making growth. So, and then the Bears with Hidman, the Bears are playing really well this year. So, and Mike's just going to make them better. He's going to make them believe. So,
Agreed.
it's going to be fun. That's going to be a good bracket. It's going to be a really good
Hugo's
bracket.
He's legit. I mean,
he's very good.
With a snake like this, he's legit.
Oh, yeah. So.
But they only get him for one event. They get him for one event, and then he'll play with the Tauntauns at World Cup.
Yeah, at World, he's already committed. Yeah.
And Axel's doing that too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
kind of interesting.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. Here we go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So bracket C, Shane, that's you.
Oh my God, you put me on the spot. No, so we got Impact, X Factor, Aftermath, Diesel, and Notorious, and another grinder bracket, right? And Notorious didn't fare well at the last event, and so how are they going to respond? Archie wasn't there. From what if I remember correctly, he wasn't in Atlantic City, so that's going to make he's a big difference, and he's going to be a big difference on this layout. He can definitely apply pressure and how they play off of it. And, it's only one man. I understand that, but sometimes that, that can be the glue to make a difference. So how are they going to respond? The way I look at with Notorious, and, some of us definitely struggled on that Atlantic City layout, including, especially the Ironmen. We're not going to talk about that anymore. But yeah, see how they respond to their last performance. I think this layout is perfect for you guys. I think Diesel's going to be a force on this layout. I really do. And it's going to be it's one of those things where you go out and you watch them. You're like, it doesn't surprise me they slap that team around like they are, and it doesn't matter who they're playing against. They could beat anybody in this bracket. And I mean, you obviously you had great practices, and that sets you up for a great event. So we'll see how your boys respond there, Gray. Aftermath. They're always consistent, and they're always in the fight, and they're always a good team that at every level and everything. They'll do fine. This is a tough bracket for them though, so let's see how it all shakes out for them. As far as I'm having a hard time with them, how they're going to be with this group. I like the other teams. I can kind of see how they're going to play this layout. With them, I don't know how they're going to play it. What their approach is going to be, but they can beat anybody, and that's a tough out also.
Yeah.
I think Impact's the team to beat in this bracket. I really do. And nothing against X Factor. X Factor's legit, and they can beat anybody, and they're a force, but I just feel that Impact's one of those teams. They're making Sundays. They haven't won in a while. They're a little angry. When you talk to a couple of the guys, they're like, that hunger, kind of like what Bianca was talking about with Damage. And it, you poke a really good team too many times, they come out with a little fire in their belly, and they can definitely make a run on teams. And you're like, okay, I feel that Impact is definitely the team that's going to probably win this bracket, in my opinion. And then X Factor's legit. I mean, let's be honest. Those guys are all salty dogs. They've all been doing it forever. And they're a great team. They play as a team. No matter what, you watch them, you're in the pits, they're always calm. On the field, they're always calm. And they always are aggressive. They have the players that do what it takes to be aggressive to win. So, I mean, of course, that's going to be a dog fight with them. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see that final match, X Factor Impact. I'm assuming they're going to be the last game in that bracket, how that could be a deciding factor on who wins the bracket and, who gets a bye or what have you type of deal. I kind of foresee that coming in that bracket, Any thoughts from you guys on that?
I have a few on that particular bracket. I think you're right. I think Impact is one of those teams you're going to have to keep your eye on. But I have to lean towards X Factor here, simply because when you look at the layout and you have a Billy Bernaccia, and you have an Axel Godin, and you have a Demetrius Dinos, and you have that type of offense that is this layout, that's a force to be reckoned with. Of course, Impact's not coming to the gunfight short. No, they're packing heat as well. But I think you're right about Diesel, and I'm not saying that because Ryan's my friend. I think Diesel is in a position right now where you've got the tools for this layout. And if the discussions you and I've been having about culture are taking root, man, Diesel's going to be a team that we're all going to have to keep our eye on at this event. So yeah, this is a tough bracket. Aftermath plays a lot of paintball. They're going to know how to play the layout, right? It's going to be a gunfight for them, right? If they can win some key gunfights or pick on somebody, win the break, maybe, very capable of doing that. And of course, Notorious, you're right. Archie's a great player. Is he the one player? Is he that big of a difference for this team? We're certainly going to find out.
Yeah. SK.
Yeah, I think you guys covered that. I don't have much to add to that.
That's because we're all smart fellas.
I have a couple of things. One, I've had some conversations with Trevor Reeser, a little bit about Edmonton Impact and kind of the tempo in which they, changed at the last event, really went up tempo. played with a lot more kind of energy and not trying to play that mistake-free paintball, but just being a little more loose, being really active, not just off the break, but throughout the game, and also keeping their twos really close. If you go back and watch film on them from the last event, I mean, their ones and twos were one bunker apart the whole time, right? Whether it was inside or right behind. I think, Shane, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think impact is going to be really dangerous, especially after playing the layout. They have guys that really like to play in those blinds and dance, especially, if you look at that, on the Dorito side, there's no blind. You're in the open, right? But they have guys that really like to do the dance. I think impact is going to be really dangerous on this field. X Factor, too. They have very similar guys who love to be in those blinds. I can see, Matt Jackson, with Billy and Axel really having a party over there on the snake side. I think it'll be interesting too to see what Ryan does, like how often he splits Billy going one way and Axel going the other, which I'm sure he will, right? It's just it'll be interesting to see how much he does that. And then how well, kind of TJ Danner and Colt and some of the guys can play the middle of the field. Aftermath, they're still kind of stuck in this mistake-free, slow tempo kind of paintball mentality. If they don't get out of that at this event, I think they're going to have a hard time. Right. If they do get out and play a little bit more tempo, I think Aftermath's going to be really tough. We did pick up a player this weekend, so we'll see kind of how that impacts some of our stuff too. Silos Cortez is going to play the rest of the year with us. And so it'll be interesting kind of see, how he fits in, but definitely culturally we've made a change. We had a lot of fun this weekend. There was a lot less yelling and guys picking at each other because we weren't trying to play mistake free. We were trying to really play learning paintball, right? Like you're supposed to do at practice instead of biting each other's faces off. The other thing I want to mention about Austin Notorious is they weren't just missing Archie Barnes. There were three starters missing from their roster at the last event. They were missing Ty Bateman, Archie, and Carter. Yeah. So they were missing three starters from their roster at the last event who they're all getting back. Now they will be missing Jared Sherman and I think one other potentially, but they're getting those starters back. Right. So I also heard that this is going to be Matchik's last event in America. His wife is pregnant and due right around World Cup. So unfortunately he won't be here for that, but and that might be a fire for him. So Austin Notorious could be really tough at this event. I know they were up in Chicago with the Shock guys, and I don't know who else was with them, but I heard they played well. Heard they had a really good practice. So yeah, as Shane has mentioned about the first two brackets, this one's legit too, right? They're all really tough. So, well, I have bracket D. So I'll start at the bottom. ML Kings. The ML Kings have kind of struggled throughout the year. Again, they do try to play at a high tempo, but I think a lot of times it kind of falls apart in the mid game. Seems like there's some communication problems. If they've gotten that cleaned up, Mike, you practice them this weekend, so maybe you'll be able to share something on that. If they've gotten some of that mid game stuff cleaned up, they could be really tough. Infamous has had a weird year. They come out the first event. They're a one-on-one away from going to the semifinals against the Hurricanes. Take 7th place and then last place, and then come out at the last event, take 8th place. So kind of busting that slump a little bit. But I think this is a really good field for Infamous. I think that they're another team that can really change tempo on the fly. They have a lot of creativity in their choreography off the break. And they also have guys who really like to dance. I think Infamous could be really tough on this layout. Paintball Fit, because of how well they shoot off the break, could be incredibly dangerous on this layout. Incredibly dangerous. Again, the mid-game stuff might be a little bit challenging for them. They do communicate really well, but a lot of times Paintball Fit is dangerous when they're up off the break, right? And this is a layout where I think they could get up off the break a lot of points. If they play those blinds well, I think they'll be really, really good. Chicago Aftershock, I think maybe the most fun team to watch in this bracket, because I think you're just going to get, just all kinds of ballistic things thrown at you in multiple different ways. I think they'll be, especially coming off a second place finish at the last event. I think Chicago Aftershock is going to be really tough. Dynasty, this is after we played the layout, one of the first conversations I had with even the Heat guys, I was like, man, this is a field where Dynasty could be incredibly tough. And because you shoot well off the break, you guys communicate really well, SK, and then also because you counter so well.
Yeah.
Ryan and Blake, Marcelo, those guys just really understand the counter game and will be very, very difficult, especially in those late game situations where you feel like you might be about to steal a point. Somebody will do something and rip it right away from you. Right. I think this could be a layout that Dynasty is incredibly dangerous on. So again, I'll do my picks later, but the bracket D. If Paintball Fit and Infamous are playing well, bracket D may be the bracket of death. Bracket A for sure, because Baltimore Revo, again, Shane, if your guys are playing well, that one's going to be brutal. But bracket D, if Paintball Fit is good, could be the bracket of death. Any other thoughts?
Well, we practiced Infamous this weekend, and you hit the nail on the head. Their versatility, the way they approach the field, they give you different looks. My biggest concern from them is injuries. They were really shorthanded this weekend. As the course of the weekend went on, it was the roster was getting smaller and smaller. And I honestly they're like, hey man, we got to slow it up a little bit. We got 6 guys that can actually play right now. And I'm like, yeah, no problem. Whatever you guys need to do, you know what I mean? But, they're very good, but it was definitely, and if the rain comes, that could be, if they're really on a short roster, hopefully all the guys will be there and be healthy and ready to rip, and they can throw a full squad at everybody. That'll be a big difference. I did talk to Todd a little bit with Shock, and he said they got beat up on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday they played really well. And they told me they're playing all this week, so they'll be ready to rip. But I mean, Dynasty's Dynasty, bro. Let's be honest. This is a perfect layout for them, and damn it, again, Dynasty.
Right.
Yeah. This is so hopefully we get to play them on Sunday. That's my goal. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. So
late though. I want to play them late,
Yeah.
not early. I want to play them late.
Yeah.
I think you've got some great insight, both of you, about Dynasty and the fact that they are such incredible counter, right? I call it the Dynasty equation. It's that read capable offense, and then they just steal something from because they saw something that no one else did, and it's just that processing speed is so incredible. And I'm not blowing too much sunshine up your butt, SK here, but you've got a pretty good squad there. So Aftershock, this is a great layout for Aftershock, especially if they're going to play it a lot more, if they're going to continue to play it. They're such a dynamic team. They throw everything at you, including the kitchen sink, and then anything that's under the house and that they can find in the basement. So they're constantly throwing things at you that are just, it's like you're dodging this way, that way. You don't know which way to move your head, but next thing you know, you're getting caught, and it's game over. So Aftershock, I agree. I think is going to be a really fun team to watch on this layout. I couldn't agree with you more about Fit. If they win the breakout, boy, is it on, right? I think because of their communication, because of that capability to piece things together quickly, although this layout has a tendency to maybe get lost. So we'll see how that plays out for them. Infamous, if they're beat up, right? You're right. They can shift gears. They can play different tempos. They can come at you. They've got some great talent on that team, but if they're injured, that could be a struggle. And ML Kings, listen, they're a dynamic team, right? Very kinetic. They're in your face paintball, and they've got a lot of opportunities, I think, to surprise people on this layout. I think they have what I would call a puncher's chance, where they're going, because of the bracket they're in, right? It's an incredibly difficult bracket, but the Kings have some strength, man. That Donaldson kid, he's a smart kid. Kyle Berry, right? They do have some stellar players on that roster, and You know, if they can lock in on the break and they can make those crisp secondary, and if they can play clean and not get penalties, they're going to be all right.
What do you mean by that? Play clean. I'm confused.
You're going to make me say this. I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to.
You got any thoughts on your own bracket?
Not really. I mean, Infamous also lost Nate too, so that certainly hurts their depth if they're injured already. So that,
Right.
yeah, that certainly hurts. Yeah, that's about it. Like, I don't have a whole lot there.
Well, before we make our picks, I want to pull up Paintball Stats sent me the strength of schedule graphic. So if you guys haven't seen this, Paintball Stats builds out kind of the strength of schedule for each team before each event. So New York Extreme, kind of with the toughest strength of schedule at 49.6. And so the way they determine this, and there's a whole nother sheet. If you guys go to Instagram, look up Paintball Stats, you can find them. And there's a whole nother sheet that kind of explains how this works, but it's kind of your win-loss versus the other team's win-loss. And then it kind of calculates out this the strength of schedule. So I think if you look at Infamous, there's this 43.6, which is pretty high. Ironmen 45.5, which I believe Shane is third from the highest.
Great.
Yeah,
That's great.
Miami Kings being 45.8 is the second highest. And yeah, 43.1 Austin Notorious, 42.8 is Paintball Fit. So again, according to the strength of schedule, you've got 3 teams in there in bracket D that have the toughest strength of schedule minus the Ironmen. So it looks like the stats also say bracket D could be the bracket of death, could be the tough one. So, so thanks Paintball Stats for providing that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah. Next time, tag us, Paintball Stats. You tagged all the other shows.
He sent me a message. Yeah, he sent me a message and said, I ran out of tags.
No.
And I said, I said, no sweat, I'll share it anyway.
A likely story. Put us at the top then next time.
That's okay.
There you go.
Yeah. No ego here. We're fine.
I love it. All right, let's get into these picks, gentlemen.
Well, hang on. We got to figure out what we're going to do with Shane's.
Oh, that's
since
right.
He wasn't here for the Atlantic City show.
We had Joey Blute instead, didn't we?
Yeah.
You probably did a lot better than me.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Actually, who did win that one? What were the scores at that last one? Do you have it?
Yeah, he did. Shane, he and SK tied.
What was it? Didn't I get like 8? Did I get
You got 8? Yeah. You got 8.
Yes.
I got 7. Mike got 7.
There you go. Joey can do my picks from now on. That's the new rule.
You know what?
So,
We're gonna.
So what are the standings right now?
Are we good with giving Shane Joey's 8?
Yes. Why wouldn't we? I want 9.
Well, first of all, let's see where we're standing right now. Who's
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
you go. Yeah.
Mike has 20.
Oh gosh.
SK has 19. Shane has 18, and I have 18.
that he has 18 if we give him Joey's picks.
Yeah, if we give him his average, he has 15.
So you saying I don't pick very well? Is that what you guys are trying to tell me? Yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. You have not picked well up to now.
Up until
what I'm
now.
Oh well,
That's right.
Hey, on NFL, I've been doing great so far. It's only been 1 week though, so it's okay.
All right, we'll give you the 8 just because I don't care.
Same.
Yeah.
If everybody else is good with it.
You good with that?
Thank
SK?
you. I'll take all chairs.
Yeah, Joey picked it, so yeah, it's fine with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
When I win the 1,000 from each one of you, I'll split it with Joey. So it's okay.
The 1,000. What are we doing?
All right. Yeah, I don't know where that
wait.
came from.
Hold up.
Yeah.
You're like,
Time
off
out.
the break. Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
don't let this
break.
beautiful background fool you. I have no money.
Yeah. Well, we know how you are. Yeah. Rolling D.
All right, Shane, you get to go first.
All right. Okay. So we're winning our bracket. So, because I'm always
Okay.
going to take my team no matter what.
Of course.
So are we going to do the
So give
winners
me your
of each
top.
Your top
give me
two
your
from
top
each.
2 from each, and then your 2 wild cards.
Okay, we're gonna do us and the Legion, and I'll go Heat and Damage. I'm gonna go Impact and X Factor. Real chalky, I know. And I'm gonna go Dynasty and Aftershock.
Wild cards.
I am gonna go the Hurricanes and Blast Camp.
Ooh.
Okay.
I got
How you like me now? Being that I do so well in my picks, why would you listen to me?
I think those are pretty legit picks, man. I don't, like you said, right? There's no easy matches anymore. So
No.
So you're making me go next, Rye?
Well, you had
Okay.
bracket B, right?
Right. Well, obviously I'm not going to bet against my boys.
Okay.
Right. So I'm
Canes.
going to pick the Hurricanes and I'm going to pick Legion. Right. For bracket B, I've got Heat and Damage. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the Bears as one of my wild cards.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to surprise some people with bracket C. And it's not because I don't love my boy Zupa, but I'm going to go ahead and put X Factor and Diesel winning this bracket.
I like it.
And then I'm going to add Impact as my wild card.
Okay.
And then I'm going to pick Dynasty and Aftershock.
Okay. SK.
I don't know if this is in the right order, but Red Legion and Revo, X Factor and Impact, Heat and Damage, Dynasty and Aftershock, and the wild cards will be the Bears and the Hurricanes.
Who did you say in yours?
In mine, Shock.
Dynasty and Aftershock. Yeah.
And then you said Bears and who?
Hurricanes.
Hurricanes.
And Canes.
I was listening. I heard you.
I know. It's good.
Well, I'm trying
Always.
to type it.
I'm
trying to
I'm
type
writing
it.
it down.
I got it.
I'm writing it down.
All right. I'm going Legion.
No, hang on. Ryan's going
Canes.
Legion Canes. Okay. And viewers, listen, Ryan and I aren't picking each other's teams because we like each other. We know things.
No, I really don't like you very much.
I don't like Ryan.
No one believes that at all. I don't believe that at all.
I'm going Impact, Diesel.
Impact Diesel. All right.
Diesel.
I'm going Dynasty, Shock, and X Factor, Fit are my wild cards.
Wait.
X Factor, Fit. What?
Oh, X Factor and Fit are your wild cards?
Yep.
What was your pick in bracket B? Heat and Damage?
Yeah.
Heat and Damage.
Okay. I was typing.
With your pencil.
That's right. All right, so I'm going to read these back. So SK has Red Legion and Revo in bracket A with wildcard Hurricanes. SK has Heat and Damage with wildcard Bears. Good pick, SK. SK
Yeah,
has,
there you go.
bracket C has Impact and X Factor. And SK has Dynasty and Aftershock. I have Red Legion and Hurricanes. In bracket B, I have Heat Damage with Bears being the wild card. For bracket C, I have Impact as the wild card with X Factor and Diesel taking the bracket. And then bracket D, Dynasty and Aftershock. Ryan, you have Red Legion and Hurricanes in bracket A. You have Heat and Damage in bracket B. You have Impact and Diesel in bracket C with the wild card of X Factor. That's an interesting pick. That's a good pick. Bracket D, Dynasty and Aftershock with Fit being the wild card. I like that one too. Now for everyone, Joey Blut's picks.
We should definitely call Joey. Please, let's call Joey. He can help us out.
That's right. You've got obviously the Ironmen and Red Legion with the Hurricanes being a wild card. You've got Heat and Damage with Blast Camp being the wild card in bracket B. You have Impact and X Factor in bracket C, and then you have Dynasty and Aftershock in bracket D. Good stuff, boys. This is exciting. We've got some differences here. I like this.
So I just need the Ironmen and Blast Cap to win, and then I'm going to catch all you guys. That's what we got to do. And all the rest are the same. Let's go.
Well,
We'll
I'm
see.
going to do everything I can to not help the Ironmen in this one. So.
Do we play each other first game?
We play each other first game, sir.
Gosh, man, come on.
I know, man. It's like, come on.
Come on, you know.
Come on, man.
We are first game of the tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You're at 8 a.m., right?
Us and Impact.
That's a good one.
I have that on my agenda. I send out a team agenda to the Canes. Like, hey, this is where we will be, what we will be doing at these times. And I have that.
Can we share that,
match.
Ryan? I just sent you a thing because I think a lot of coaches don't do this right. And it's super simple.
I will share it.
And can we show it now?
Yeah.
So, like, this is something that kind of irritates me when I watch other coaches because they're not preparing themselves the right way and preparing all their players. So it's super simple. It's just making your schedule and then just highlighting the stuff you're supposed to watch. And it sounds really dumb, but people don't do it. So
it's not dumb. It's smart, right? Like I just said, I've got an agenda that I send to my guys. You will be here at this time doing this.
So
right?
I just sent Ryan what I do for my team and for Junior and I in particular, just so it's super obvious. Obviously, I watch all the matches, but there's certain ones that are way more important, like the teams we're playing. So I don't know if you could share it, Ryan.
I'm working on it.
Okay, yeah, no, we're not super tech savvy here. I've
those tech savvy guys out there that say we need to be more tech savvy.
Okay, so this is what I do. I just make a super simple spreadsheet, and all the orange games are the teams we need to watch, and then the blue team is us. And it's super simple, but it's just an obvious thing because some guys are way more visual. So, like, and I don't even know how many times I get that question every weekend. Like, every time there's a tournament. I'm sure you guys all hear, they'll be like, what time do we play? And I'm like, so, I mean, I think any division can do this, though. Like, it's super simple.
100%.
Like,
100%.
And obviously, sometimes you have games at the same time as other teams. But, I mean, I think you can still prepare yourself whatever level you're at. And I'm sure, and also, I know Mike and Ryan do this, and Shane does too, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. Something else I like to do is I like to make
sure. Do you do it, Shane?
Do you do it, Shane?
I'm the one asking, what time's our game?
What time do I need to be there?
Like, wait, we're not going to Starbucks first? Come on, man.
Oh, that's right. You got to get your foo drink. Do you still get the vanilla lattes or whatever?
Sometimes, come on now. You know, I'm such a fatty now. I got to cut back on them. But yeah, once a morning. Come on, yeah. I'm not as organized as you guys, but I definitely we talk shop about it. That's what.
Sure.
We do.
I highly recommend that if you can. It's one thing for the coach and the scouts and some of the players to scout teams and watch matches. If you are a coach and you're not making your entire team watch matches to understand what their opponent's tendencies and what they like to do, right, so they can see what they're up against, then you're failing your team. So make them watch matches.
Yeah, scouting's key. I mean, the tendencies, and we've been talking about, at the box, like, being able to see the guys at the box. If a team, Ryan kind of touched on it. If a team's not recognizing that they got to kind of conceal what they're going to do off the rip, and you see tendencies, you have an advantage over them, and you're going to shoot more people off the break, in theory. And, usually I feel we're a pretty good team off the break. And I think that's the reason why, is because we find tendencies and we find weaknesses and we use it against them. So at least try to. So
There
that's
it is.
for everybody out there. You find, and that just goes with all the little stuff too. I see these guys wearing these abstract beanies or white mask or whatever it is, and you're like, you're walking by and it's a divisional game. You're like, dude, the white cleats ran to the snake every single point. It's like when you see the white cleat guy walk out there, you're like, dude, hey, that's it's kind of a tale. I'm just letting you guys all know as a coach, you're like, hey man, take the white mask off, take the white orange beanie off, or whatever you're wearing to make you stand out. I get it, you want to be different, but in the same breath, you're actually hurting your team. So that's but Bianca, I think all your runners should definitely wear really bright stuff so I know where they're running.
Right.
So,
I'll make sure
if
they're
you
all
don't
wearing
mind.
hurricane blue.
Yeah. Imagine that. So
The other blue.
it sounds
team,
like
so.
it sounds like I'll be wearing hurricane blue or hurricane, paraphernalia at the World Cup because I'm going to lose this bet. It sounds like is what you guys are telling me. So damn it.
Well, right now SK is in the lead, Mike is in the lead, but let's see, how different were their picks?
One
difference.
One has Revo, the other has Legion. Bears, Canes. They're actually really. Yeah, you guys are really close.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're the two smart ones.
Bracket C were different, barely, and then bracket A were different. That's it. So two pick differences.
Yeah, and it's
I'm not
tough
wearing
because I think Revo could go. I think the Bears could go. I think Blast Camp could go.
Revo's a great team and
great team. And they've played really consistently all year. They've been in that 8, 9, 10 spot. Like they could certainly go. And if they had a really good workout this weekend, they could be higher.
And at the beginning of the season, the first two events, I picked Revo, both events, and everyone looked past them, and they made both Sundays. So.
Well, there is an injury update on Revo though, because Clint is half deaf now. So he got shot in the ear in France. He's in here. I was there. So he,
Was he really
it's just
here before?
No, probably not. But So, he's like, I can't hear anything out of that side. I'm like, Jesus. So,
man.
I don't know.
That's scary.
Yeah. Apparently, it's easy to fix. He's just going to do it after the event or something.
Listen,
or
Daniel
Camp, on its own.
Daniel Camp had the same issue.
Oh, really?
After Texas, yeah. He in Texas, he had to go to the. He blew his eardrum out. It was out.
Ooh.
He had to.
That was with us.
Yeah, and it was he couldn't. The doctor was saying he shouldn't be getting on any flights, high altitudes, anything. So it was. It's a pooch.
Oh.
Yeah, it takes like 6 weeks.
Scary.
6 weeks.
Yeah, obviously we kid with Clint. I hope he's he
recovers. No, he's the only reason I'm saying it is he's in here. So
yeah,
of course.
I hope
because we were Ryan and I were up in the booth commentating that. And we're like, why is Marcelo not conceding this point? And what it was is he thought Clint was still alive.
Yes.
Yeah,
and so,
well, he was alive. He just didn't know why. Or so, I forget.
No, he'd been shot in the ear.
Yeah,
so he was laying
eliminated.
Down. He was laying down over by the wedge, and there were two referees standing in front of him, blocking him. So not only was the bunker in the way, but then you had two referees kind of blocking there. Marcelo's view. So that was a tough one. And what a great match. That was a great match. So
we had a lot of great matches in Drew. My goodness, that Sunday was epic.
I will say one thing too about when we get to this point in the season, as far as where everybody's fallen, I feel like this is when the games are all really good. You know what I mean? Because kind of everybody's in the space that they should be in, at least as it relates to, performance up to now, right? So the games just get really grindy. They get good. I mean, when I was going through the schedule, I was like, this is a good game. 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 There's a lot of good ones this weekend. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It will be. Well, we've got our
what
picks
time
in.
does the New Orleans Hurricanes and the Los Angeles Ironmen play?
We are playing at
145.
145.
145.
See, we know. We know.
Thank
we
God.
know this game.
Thank God it's afternoon. Yeah, thank God it's the afternoon. Yeah.
I
We'll
like
both
the
have a
morning.
good buzz by then, right?
I like the morning. It's exciting.
Yeah, I'm actually happy we're not in 3:45 and 5:45 games constantly because those are
I
terrible.
prefer the morning. I prefer the morning bracket 100%. I like, matter of fact, I love being the first, or even second game. I really do. I prefer that. But in Chicago, I'm not opposed to it simply because we had difficulty getting lodging. So we're not as close as I'd like us to be. Yeah.
Just let me know where you're living. There won't be any fire alarms pulled or car fires or anything like that. Yeah. No, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to facing you boys.
It's going to be a good one. It always is. So
yeah, it'll be a grind. We need to pay you back a little bit. You guys, you've had a little ownage on the Ironmen over the years lately, so hopefully we can pay you back a little bit. So yeah, we'll see.
They've all been
It'll be
razor
fun.
thin. They've all been razor close. So
yeah, I don't know about that. I feel like you've kicked our ass. What are you talking about? So yeah.
There should be some good ones. I'm kind of looking at it now. It's going to be a fun weekend. So anybody have anything else to share before we kick off?
Safe travels, everyone, man. Yeah, let's all get there and let's have some fun together this weekend. Yeah,
look forward to seeing all you guys.
Yeah,
getting there and doing some hood rat stuff with my hood rat friends. So
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
hey,
bring your rainbow.
Remind me at the event. I need to get your shirt sizes because I'm making I'm going to make some new white Coach's Show shirts for World Cup that'll have, and I'm going to have him put your team logos on them so that you guys can wear them when you want to, and it'll have your logo on it. So you don't have to, it's not a weird sponsorship thing. Like it'll have your team
I can wear
logo
whatever I want.
All right.
Yeah. When you're coaching the most winning.
I don't know if you noticed my sponsorship is different than everyone else's. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make sure still it has your team logo on it. So also your team guys maybe don't get weird about it, but
they'll know who their coach is. That's a good point.
There you go.
Idea.
Yeah.
They'll be like, that guy in the white shirt is my
that guy knows what time we're playing. That's
not the other guy.
Yes, exactly.
All right, boys. Thank you so much again. Looking forward to seeing you guys this weekend, and good luck to the both of you. Safe travels.
Yep. All right, buddy.
Bye, guys.
I love chatting with those two. It's always a good time. And, there's too much time in between events. So I really enjoy being able to do this with them as well. So always good insight and a lot of fun. So
yeah, and it sucked that we didn't get to have Shane before AC. Like I always, I look forward to these just because we all have such different personalities. It's a lot of fun. Sometimes I feel like I need to wake SK up though.
No kidding.
Like I can't tell. Are you looking at your phone or are you taking a little siesta?
I love it when you sit there and say any other comments and he's like, no, I got nothing.
Yeah. He's like, you guys said it. You're good.
Because you've already said it, or he's keeping something. He knows
that's
something.
Right. That's what I really think is happening. He's like,
that's what
I'm just not going to share that.
I'm just not going to share anything. You guys can be open about this stuff. I'm not dumb. Right.
That's why when we all retire from coaching, the show will be so much different.
Oh, it's going to be lit.
We'll get to really say all the things we want to say.
Yeah. What's going to be great is I'm going to take the Stoic hat off and I'm just going to be the Sicilian, and it's going to be, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's going to be
all right. And look at this. We kept our timing as well.
I'm telling you,
2 minutes,
hour 15 minutes. Hey, and I want to talk to you this week about changing the day of the show, maybe doing it on Monday. But we'll talk about it this week. Yeah, just because I think it would be better. Spick and Span have been on this date on Tuesdays forever. And I've had several people send messages to us saying, hey, if you guys moved, I think it'd be better. And Ryan and I kind of talked about it in Paris, and maybe it's something we need to take a look at.
I would be happy to do that. I've received several messages as well, because you've probably noticed in the comments as well. They're like, man, I keep coming in here late because Spick and Span is just finishing. And then they come over here and we're usually finishing up. So I would be down for that. And after, hanging out with Ryan and Marcelo in France, I get it. So I'd be down. So let me talk to the wife and figure
What is
out the schedule, and we'll go from there.
PBRML. I don't know what that is.
Oh no, Monday is PBRL.
What is PBRLML? What? I don't even know what that is. Paintball art. I don't know
Real
what that is.
Men League.
Paintball
ruined my life.
Yeah. Yeah, we're
Okay.
not viewers. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Okay.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Coaches Show. Thank you to Shane and Kevin for joining us tonight. Major League Paintball for all the support of the show. Darren Cessna, Alex Sorensen, Kevin Fillers, and Tom Cole. If you want to elevate your game, possibly play for Team USA, get the best knowledge in paintball at bkipaintball.com. Check out the combines and the summer camps. This show has been brought to you by Max Sportswear. When needed, get maxed. I'm Ryan Gray with Mike Bianca. As always, be responsible.